Hi, and welcome back to Panama for Real. Today, we're going to try and demystify the cost of renting and buying property here in Panama. Most people, when they first come to Panama, will look to rent somewhere first, and then eventually they'll buy something. But every expat who lives here will always be asked by future expats, what can I expect? What prices can I expect? That doesn't just count for renting, it's also for buying. So to help us to understand that this dynamic here in Panama, we're joined by Beth McGuyton today from Tribe Panama Real Estate based in Coronado. Beth, thanks very much. How are you?
I'm doing well, Dominic. Thank you.
Good to see you again. As I just said, everybody wants to know how much it's going to cost to live across the board, but really, obviously, their biggest expense initially is going to be their rent and then the cost of buying. So, what can people expect? It's a piece of string question, really, isn't it? Because there's a lot of different places you could live.
Yeah. Well, I mean, cost of living is obviously not a one-size-fits-all experience. And I love how you said, like, demystifying. I constantly, because it's probably the most important subject, and one that is uber confusing online. I know, like, if you go to any of the expat groups, everyone has an opinion and they're all different. But I think that all of us live very different lifestyles. I mean, I love to cook. I'm a foodie. I probably spend a lot more money on my food budget than maybe someone who doesn't really care that much or likes to eat out more. So, I mean, there's just so many different factors. Like, I don't go out a lot, but I have friends that go out every weekend. But in terms of housing, there's also a lot of articles online, like come to Panama and live for a king for $500, $800 a month, that are not realistic. So what I commonly receive, it seems like everyone is within like the $800 budget range, maybe like $800 to $1,000, and then I see a lot of people who are in the $1,500 range. Obviously, those budgets can be higher or lower, but those seem to be the places. And my assumption is because people are either trying to live on $2,000 a month in total, which therefore their budget for rent needs to be around $800, or they're trying to live on $3, and then they can kind of to splurge a little around $1,500 a month for rent. So it seems like, I mean, and I have a cost of living video on my YouTube channel. We try to cover it as best as we can. You can live in Panama on $2,000 a month. You can find $800 rentals, but they're going to be older. They're going to be more Panamanian style. If it's a house, it might have what I call a suicide shower. It might have bars on the window, and majority of properties here are rented furnished, but that furnishing might be older. So it's possible, but you know, majority of people are coming from North America or Europe. They're used to modern amenities. So if you are coming here and wanting a modern layout, open floor plan, lots of lighting, you know, granite countertops, the kind of stuff, you're going to spend around $1,500 a month, and in some cases more based off of the location.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And people have to be careful as well when they choose an agent. And I really would recommend choosing an agent, having been through this several times in my 7 years here in Panama.
Yeah.
You can get yourself in all sorts of trouble by choosing the wrong agent. And also trying to do it yourself is time consuming. We recently moved in the city. We were on Avenida de Balboa with a fantastic ocean view, and it was an amazing apartment. We decided, because of the pandemic, we wanted to get somewhere larger with 3 bedrooms instead of 2, so one could be turned into an office. And it took months because we tried to do it ourselves. when you go onto there's a website here called Encuentro 24, which is like you can find anything on there for sale, and they do a lot of property, a lot of cars, etc. But we found we were the victim of bait and switch tactics a few times, where an agent, not really an agent, would advertise a property that looked amazing and a good price. You'd go along, oh, that's just gone, but we have all these other ones that we weren't interested in at all. They were completely wrong for us, and we wasted so much time. And both my girlfriend and I, having full-time jobs, we didn't have a lot of time to spend on it, so a lot of our weekends were wasted. Eventually we bit the bullet and got in touch with a really good agent in Panama City, and she had us in an apartment in 2 weeks, and we were in it now, and we love it. It was she knew exactly what we needed, and she only took us to see the right kind of thing. So it's you can waste a lot of time looking on your own. I'd definitely say get an agent and follow Beth's advice and interview them. Make sure that they are an agent, because there are a lot of people here who'll tell you they are and they aren't. Now, costs for renting and for buying vary around the country as well, don't they? What you get for 800 in somewhere like Pedasi, for instance, compared to the city, would be a huge difference.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, as is with location, it is a higher demand area, one of the more popular areas. Like, for instance, Coronado. Like, Coronado is the hub. I mean, it is the most popular beach destination in the country. So our prices are going to reflect that. I mean, we've got 5 shopping plazas. We have every amenity you could need. There's no inconvenience in living here. And it's under demand. So if you took a side-by-side of the same house from Coronado and put it in, let's say, Pedasi, which Pedasi's on the up and up, but it's still not anywhere near Coronado. I mean, it still has some years to go. It needs more infrastructure, more amenities, got some developing to go. That house would be significantly less. So keep that in mind too. I mean, you can live in the outskirts of anywhere for much, much less, but gas prices are high. You might have to drive down a mountain. I mean, there's like so many different factors, right?
Yeah. And Pedasi is a lovely little town, but it's a 4.5, 5 hour drive from the city, whereas Coronado is an hour and a half. So prices are always reflected in that kind of thing. So yeah, thanks yet again, Beth. Sorts it out for us. It's clear as day now. You can live cheaply here, but you're going to get something slightly older, maybe more basic as far as the furnishing is concerned. The suicide shower that Beth mentioned, I've had experience with those as well, and they are, I was going to say hilarious. They're not hilarious. They're an electrically heated shower, and the electric wires go above your head while you're in the shower. And the one I had was sparking once whilst I was in there. Wow. I did need a shower after that shower. So anyway, Beth, thanks again. Thanks very much for your time again, and talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. See you
Bye
soon.
now.
Bye.